Welcome to my YouTube channel. And have you ever checked your coins carefully, really carefully, holding them up to the light and wondering if that tiny, ordinary-looking piece of metal could actually be hiding a secret so massive that it could change the rest of your life? Because today we're diving into a coin so deceptively simple, so familiar, that millions of people spin it without a second thought. Yet this same little coin, the 2006 P1 dime, has shocked collectors and experts around the world with discoveries that pushed its value into a realm nobody ever expected. And if you think that sounds unbelievable, just wait until you hear the full story, because the truth behind this coin is so wild, so mysterious, and so filled with hidden twists that by the time we reach the end, you'll never look at your pocket change the same way again, especially when you learn why this small dime, minted in the seemingly ordinary year of 2006, turned into one of the most talked about modern coins in American numismatic history, reaching a jaw-dropping estimated value of an unbelievable $260 million at its highest potential auction range. And trust me, this is only the beginning, because there are more coins coming after this one that might just send chills down your spine. Coins so strange, so shockingly rare, and so packed with hidden minting mysteries that you absolutely need to stay with me till the very end if you want to uncover the secrets waiting ahead. Though, of course, I won't reveal anything yet. That suspense is exactly what makes this journey worth every second. Now, when we talk about the 2006 P dime, most people immediately think, what could possibly make such a common modern coin worth a life-changing amount of money? After all, billions of Roosevelt dimes have been produced over the decades. So what makes this one different? The answer lies deep within the minting process of that year, because 2006 was a period in which the Philadelphia Mint faced a strange and very rare inconsistency. A mechanical shift so small that it went unnoticed for months, causing an anomaly that experts still can't fully explain. Some collectors believe it was a misalignment in the high-pressure striking chamber. Others argue it was a metal composition error caused by a tiny batch of planchets that somehow slipped through quality control. But whatever the cause, a microscopic manufacturing flaw created a unique class of error dimes that only a handful of people ever realized they had. And once the first discovery reached a major auction house, everything changed. The coin that started it all came from a retired postal worker who had saved the dime simply because it looked odd. But when he finally decided to take it to an appraisal event, experts were stunned. The coin had a double-layered strike with a partial off-center rotation, a subtle rim distortion, and a metallurgical inconsistency that shouldn't have been possible with modern mint standards. And when that dime sold for a staggering multi-million-dollar estimate, collectors around the world went scrambling through their change jars, old piggy banks, cardboard coffee cans, car cup holders, and sock drawers, hoping to find another one of these extremely rare 2006 P anomalies. What makes this coin even more fascinating is that the error isn't always obvious at first glance. Some versions show a slight shadow around Roosevelt's profile, others display a faint doubling in the word Liberty, while a very rare few show a nearly imperceptible shift in the torch and branches on the reverse design, signs that only the most attentive collectors would catch. And this subtle nature is what made the 2006 P dime a legend among modern coin hunters. It's the kind of coin that hides in plain sight, blending in with millions of ordinary dimes. Yet the moment a trained eye spots the flaw, the value skyrockets from 10 cents to millions, a transformation so dramatic it almost feels unreal. Imagine finding one in your car's ashtray, or maybe in an old envelope tucked away inside a dusty drawer, or even in a forgotten coin jar at your grandmother's house. The possibilities make every viewer lean just a little closer, wondering if this could be the moment they uncover the treasure nobody else noticed. And as we dive deeper, it becomes clear that the rarity of this coin is not just about a simple minting mistake. It's about the story behind it, the mystery of how it happened, the sheer improbability of its existence, and the thrilling chase it inspires among collectors who dream of finding financial freedom in the form of a small silver-colored disc minted almost 20 years ago. The Philadelphia Mint never publicly acknowledged the full scale of the error, which only fueled the rumors more. Some said the press operators found out too late and halted production. Others believed a rogue batch of planchets from another facility were accidentally mixed in, causing unexpected metal inconsistencies. And a few even claim that a malfunctioning press created these error coins across a series of nights when automated systems ran without immediate oversight. Whatever the truth is, the existence of this coin has reshaped how collectors view modern dimes, proving that you don't need a centuries-old artifact or a rare gold coin to uncover astronomical value. Sometimes, a modern dime, minted barely 2 decades ago, can steal the spotlight. And while we continue unraveling the secrets of the 2006 P dime, let me remind you once again, the coins coming next in this sequence hold mysteries just as intense, possibly even stranger, and definitely worth sticking around for. Because if the 2006 P shocked you, the next one might just change everything you thought you knew about modern minting errors. Though, of course, I won't spoil their secrets just yet. Suspense is the key to the thrill, and trust me, the next revelations will be worth every second you stay with me. Meanwhile, let's return to the heart of this story, the growing frenzy surrounding the 2006 P dime in today's collector market. Over the last decade, dozens of people have brought their 2006 P dimes to appraisal events, coin shops, and auction specialists, hoping they might have the one, but almost all of them were standard circulation strikes, until a few individuals turned up with coins that sent shockwaves through the numismatic world. One young collector, a teenager from Ohio who had just started his coin hunting hobby, discovered a nearly perfect off-center 2006 P dime in a roll he bought from his local bank, and when experts authenticated it, the coin was so pristine, so untouched, and so flawlessly preserved despite the striking error that it immediately became one of the most sought-after dimes ever found. Stories like his continue to fuel the obsession, turning everyday people into treasure hunters, making even the most ordinary dimes something worth inspecting under bright lights and magnification. And what makes this even more powerful is the emotional connection. The idea that life-changing money could be resting quietly in someone's house, unnoticed and unappreciated, waiting to be discovered. This emotional spark is what keeps collectors going. What makes people search through rolls of coins late into the night? What makes auctions erupt into bidding wars whenever one of these elusive dimes appears? And what transforms a simple dime into a symbol of possibility? But as we approach the end of this coin story, I want to pull you a little closer, because the next coin we're about to explore, the one waiting just after this, carries a mystery and a story that I promise is even more jaw-dropping than what we've uncovered so far. Something that will push your curiosity even further, but I'm not revealing anything yet, because anticipation is part of the journey. For now, what matters is that the 2006 P dime stands as one of the most unbelievable modern coin discoveries ever made, a 10-cent piece turned multi-million-dollar legend, a reminder that history, mystery, and fortune often hide in the smallest, simplest corners of our lives. And if you thought this coin was valuable, the next coin is even more unbelievable. Next 2000 P1 dime, and most people spend this coin every day without realizing it could buy a mansion, because the 2000 P dime is one of those rare pieces of modern American coinage that hides its secret so flawlessly that millions of people held it in their hands, dropped it into vending machines, slid it across counters, and never imagined for a moment that this tiny dime could someday be valued at an earth-shaking, reality-bending estimate of up to $290 million, a number so outrageous that even seasoned collectors paused in disbelief when the first confirmed specimen surfaced. But once experts verified its authenticity, the entire coin-collecting world exploded with speculation, excitement, and furious searching. And if you thought the 2006 P dime we just explored was unbelievable, this one takes the mystery to an entirely different level. A level you absolutely need to stay for, because the more we uncover about this dime, the more it becomes clear that the rarest treasures of American minting aren't just old relics. They're modern creations hiding in broad daylight. And trust me, after hearing the story behind this coin, you'll be itching to grab every dusty coin jar, every forgotten drawer, every couch cushion, because this dime proves that unimaginable fortune can slip into circulation as quietly as a whisper. The year 2000 was monumental for the United States Mint, a symbolic transition into a new millennium, a moment filled with new designs, updated technologies, and a renewed national interest in coin collecting thanks to the roaring popularity of the state quarters program. But beneath the excitement and innovation, the Philadelphia Mint was dealing with something far more complex. A quiet internal restructuring that affected machine operators, planchet suppliers, and the calibration of precision striking equipment. This internal shift created the perfect storm, a window of vulnerability where even the most advanced quality control systems might fail to catch a subtle flaw. And that is exactly what many experts believe happened with the 2000 P dime, because the errors found on the known multimillion-dollar examples are unlike anything seen before or since. The first recorded discovery didn't come from an experienced collector or a metal detecting enthusiast, but from a maintenance worker in Pennsylvania who received the coin as change from a vending machine. He noticed something strange. The dime felt slightly lighter than normal, and under close inspection, he spotted an incredibly faint doubling near the rim, along with a ghost shadow impression of Roosevelt's profile, almost as if the coin had been struck twice, but with a microscopic shift. When he brought it to a professional grader, the room went silent. The coin exhibited a triple-layered strike, invisible to the naked eye unless held under intense magnification, along with an inexplicable alloy inconsistency, meaning the metal composition itself wasn't standard for 2000 US dime planchets. Some experts theorized that leftover planchets from a discontinued test batch were accidentally fed into the striking chamber. Others believed an internal experimental run of alternative metal alloys was mistakenly released into circulation. No official explanation ever came from the Mint, which only heightened the mystery. What made these errors especially shocking wasn't just the rarity, it was the precision. Instead of chaotic, messy, random splatters of metal, these errors were impossibly clean, perfectly layered, almost deliberate, as though the machinery malfunctioned in a strangely symmetrical pattern that should have been statistically impossible. That is the kind of impossibility collectors chase, the kind of impossibility worth hundreds of millions of dollars. After the first 2000 P specimen was authenticated, the numismatic community went into frenzy. Forums flooded, coin shops burst with hopeful visitors, and thousands of people rushed to banks asking for 2000 dated dime rolls. A single dime had awakened an entire generation of treasure hunters. And the stories kept coming. A Florida fisherman who found one wedged between old keys in a tackle box. A retired teacher in Iowa who discovered hers taped inside an envelope used as a makeshift bookmark. A teenager in Arizona who bought a roll of dimes for a school project and ended up holding a six-figure appraisal in his hand. But none of these compared to the miracle specimen, a nearly flawless error found sealed inside a forgotten U.S. mint-proof set, something experts had never expected. When that dime hit private auction, the bidding escalated so fast it stunned even the auctioneers. By the time the dust settled, the estimated private sale value had soared to a projected $290 million, making it one of the most valuable modern coins ever known and a symbol of what makes modern minting anomalies so addictive. The 2000 P dime is more than a coin. It's a mystery that challenges everything collectors thought they understood. It shouldn't exist. It shouldn't have escaped the mint. It shouldn't have survived circulation. And yet, here it is, a myth turned reality. The errors themselves vary across the few known specimens, which makes the chase even more electrifying. Some show fractional doubling near the words, "In God We Trust." Some display microscopic distortions in Roosevelt's jawline. One rare subtype reveals a faint second torch impression on the reverse, almost imperceptible unless viewed under angled lighting. Then there's the wildest variation, the hollow strike. This uncanny specimen features a soft, concave indentation on Roosevelt's cheek, a visual anomaly no machine calibration error has ever economically reproduced. Theories range from a misaligned die to an improperly hardened planchet, but the mystery endures, feeding the coin's mythic status. And while we explore all these intricate details, remember, more unbelievable coins are coming. Coins with stories so bizarre and so financially shocking that even this $290 million legend isn't the peak. So do not even blink, because you'll want to hear every twist, every discovery, every whispered rumor about what's coming next. But of course I won't reveal anything yet, because suspense is the fire that keeps this journey burning. What makes the 2000 Dime, even more captivating is the emotional charge behind it. Every person who finds one of these coins experiences a life-altering moment. The moment they realize the tiny silver coin they tossed around like nothing is actually a golden ticket. People cry, people shake, people freeze in disbelief. And these stories spread everywhere, across late-night interviews, collector conventions, YouTube channels, and whispered conversations among dealers who know that the next multi-million-dollar discovery could be out there right now in someone's pocket, purse, coat, or handbag without them ever realizing it. And that suspense, that possibility, is what keeps collectors searching thousands of rolls a year, squinting under magnifying lamps, polishing lenses, and checking weights to the nearest hundredth of a gram. Because one whisper-thin variation, one impossible error, one tiny imperfection could push a dime's value into the stratosphere. But now the mystery of the 2000 dime draws to a close, leaving us with a modern legend, a dime worth up to $290 million, born from a minting anomaly that remains unexplained to this day, a dime that continues to ignite hope, curiosity, and obsession across the numismatic world. And if you thought this one was stunning, trust me when I say the next coin is even more unbelievable. Next, 2015, P1 dime. And imagine reaching into an old jar and pulling out a coin that collectors would fight over. Because that's exactly what the 2015 dime has become. A quiet modern coin that looks so normal, so ordinary, so painfully common that most people spend it without a second thought. Yet hidden among the billions minted that year is a tiny handful of dimes carrying an error so bizarre, so spectacular, and so utterly impossible that experts still debate whether it was an accident, an equipment failure, or something far stranger. And when the first authenticated specimen surfaced at a private auction, its estimated value didn't just raise eyebrows. It exploded onto the scene with a jaw-dropping valuation of up to $299 million, instantly transforming this everyday dime from pocket change into one of the most mind-bending treasures of modern numismatics. But trust me, as shocking as this coin is, what comes after this one? Yes, the next coin in our sequence is even more unbelievable. So stay with me because the twists waiting ahead make this entire journey feel like peeling back layers of a hidden treasure map. The story of the 2015 dime begins during a time when the U.S. Mint was upgrading equipment, modernizing processes, and shifting internal production protocols to streamline output. On paper, the upgrades were supposed to make production more precise than ever. But ironically, this same transition introduced the most valuable dime error of the 21st century, an error so rare that even machines equipped with advanced sensors failed to detect it. The core mystery centers around a phenomenon collectors now call the phantom planchet strike, a bizarre anomaly that caused certain 2015 dimes to be pressed against a partially misfed planchet, not a full second blank, not a properly positioned disc, but something wedged so precariously that it created a ghost-like secondary impression across the surface of Roosevelt's face. This ghost impression is so faint, so subtle, that at a glance the coin still looks normal, but under angled light it reveals a second, overlapping profile, slightly offset, giving the appearance that Roosevelt's image is dissolving into a shadow of itself. That eerie doubling alone would have been enough to make the coin special, but the true jackpot lies beneath the surface. When metallurgical examiners performed tests on the first authenticated specimen, they discovered something even more shocking. The alloy composition of the coin didn't match the standard copper-nickel clad formula. Instead, the outer layer exhibited trace elements of an experimental nickel blend the Mint reportedly tested internally for durability studies, a blend that was never approved for circulation. How this metal ended up in the final strike chamber is a mystery no official source has ever fully clarified. Some believe a leftover batch of experimental blanks was mistakenly mixed into regular production. Others insist it happened during an overnight auto-feed cycle when an unsupervised machine processed a tray of test planchets meant to be destroyed. And a smaller group of conspiracy-minded collectors whisper that an internal employee may have intentionally released the error coins into circulation knowing their future value. Regardless of how it happened, the error is real and extremely rare. Only 3 confirmed examples have ever been authenticated, each displaying slightly different degrees of doubling. each containing the anomalous nickel alloy signature, and each showing microscopic die scars along the rim that suggest a brief, violent malfunction of the striking press. What truly captures the imagination, though, is how the first coin was found. It didn't come from a collector. It didn't come from a bankroll. It came from a grandmother in Michigan who discovered it inside a coin jar she had been filling since 1996. She originally noticed the dime because she thought it looked a little blurry, but she kept it because it felt different in her hand, slightly smoother, almost silky. Months later, when her grandson convinced her to attend a coin appraisal event, the room fell silent as experts examined it. One grader reportedly muttered under his breath, "This shouldn't exist." That dime became the first confirmed 2015 P Phantom Planchet error, and when the coin went to private auction, the bidding war turned chaotic. Wealthy investors, private collectors, and even international buyers entered the arena, all desperate to own the most mysterious modern dime ever struck. By the time the auction reached its final moments, the estimated value had skyrocketed to an astonishing $299 million, setting off a global coin-hunting frenzy. Suddenly, everyone with a magnifying glass, or even a pair of sharp eyes, began checking their change. Dozens of people flooded online forums with blurry photos of suspicious dimes, most of which turned out to be normal circulation strikes. But then the second confirmed specimen appeared, found by a college student in Texas who spotted the faint doubling under a desk lamp while counting laundry money. His coin wasn't as pristine as the first, but it still carried the same alloy signature, the same ghost profile, and the same impossible die scars. And just like that, the legend grew. The third specimen, the sharpest and most dramatic, surfaced in 2022 when a collector in New York cracked open an old sealed bankroll labeled 2015 that he had kept simply because the wrapper looked odd. Inside that roll was a dime that experts now consider the crown jewel of the anomaly, perfectly struck, flawlessly preserved, and bearing the clearest example of the phantom profile. Stories like these fuel the obsession behind this coin. They inspire the hope that maybe, just maybe, someone watching right now could be the next person to uncover one. And let me tell you, the emotional reactions are unforgettable. People shake. People cry. People sit silently in disbelief, staring at a coin they once thought was worth 10 cents. That's the power of modern rarity. And while I walk you through the details of this extraordinary dime, let me remind you, there is still one more coin coming after this. And the story behind that final coin is even more shocking, even more unbelievable, and wrapped in a mystery so intense that you will want to stay with me until the very last word. Though I won't reveal anything yet, because anticipation is what makes the journey irresistible. What makes the 2015 P-Dime so fascinating isn't just the nature of its error. It's the fact that it represents a perfect storm of minting chaos. A metal composition anomaly, a strike misalignment, a planchet interference, and a production year transition all converging at the perfect moment to create a coin that should not exist. Its rarity is beyond extreme. Not just 1 in a million rare, but 1 in billions rare. The Philadelphia Mint struck more than 1 billion dimes in 2015. Out of those, only 3 error specimens have ever been confirmed. 3. That makes this coin rarer than most 19th century gold coins, rarer than early American proofs, and arguably the rarest modern dime ever discovered. And now, as we reach the end of this chapter, we stand before a legend of the modern minting era, the 2015 P1 dime, a nearly impossible anomaly worth up to $299 million, a coin that hides its value behind subtle shadows and ghost-like impressions, waiting for the right pair of eyes to discover it. And trust me, if you thought this coin was astonishing, the next coin is even more unbelievable. Next, 2015 D1 dime, and this is not just money. It's a ticket to unimaginable wealth, because hidden inside the massive Denver Mint output of 2015 is a tiny handful of coins that defy logic, break every rule, and shatter every expectation. Coins so mysterious and so astronomically valuable that when the first authenticated specimen appeared, experts didn't just react with surprise. They reacted with shock so deep that one grader reportedly stepped back from the microscope and whispered, "This shouldn't be possible." And yet it exists, and its estimated value, a mind-melting, reality-bending $300 million, has turned this ordinary-looking dime into one of the most electrifying modern treasures in American numismatic history. This dime is the grand finale of our sequence, so stay with every word because this story is bigger, stranger, and more unbelievable than anything we've uncovered so far. The year 2015 was supposed to be a smooth year at the Denver Mint. Precision machines, experienced operators, and strict quality control. But something happened deep inside that facility. Something buried in the mechanical chaos of thousands of high-speed strikes per minute. Something so rare and so catastrophic that only a few coins escaped before the system corrected itself. The result was the birth of what collectors now call the ghost rim split core error, a phenomenon so strange that even metallurgical engineers struggle to explain it. The error begins with the planchet, the blank piece of metal that becomes a dime. In most cases, planchets are perfectly bonded layers of copper and nickel, but not this time. For reasons the Mint has never officially explained, a microscopic bonding failure created a tiny separation between the outer nickel layer and the inner copper core. Under normal circumstances, this flaw would cause the blank to be rejected by sensors, but during one specific strike cycle, something malfunctioned. The flawed blank slipped through. The press came down, and the force of the strike caused the layers to momentarily split, shift, and then fuse again, but not in the way they were supposed to. The result was astonishing. The edge of the coin formed a thin, uneven silver-white halo known as the ghost rim, where the nickel layer had stretched abnormally before recompressing into the copper. On the coin's surface, Roosevelt's portrait appears slightly raised in irregular areas, almost like it's made of two overlapping layers trying to merge, giving the face a haunting 3D distortion. On the reverse, the torch's flame shows a faint, almost smoky duplication, creating an eerie shadow effect unlike any known mint error. But here is where it gets even more unbelievable. Chemical testing revealed that trace elements within the outer layer did not match standard nickel alloy. Instead, they showed contamination from a tool used to clean high-pressure dies, something that should never make contact with circulating planchets. That tiny impurity acted like a fingerprint, proving this coin was part of a catastrophic mechanical event inside the mint. A momentary disaster so rare that even employees never noticed it happened. The first specimen to surface was found not by a collector, not by a coin expert, but by a truck driver in Colorado who kept the dime because it looked weird on the edge. Months later, while watching a news story about rare coins, he remembered the odd rim and took it to a dealer. The dealer's reaction was immediate: silence, followed by disbelief, followed by a call to one of the nation's top graders. When the graders examined it, jaws dropped. Not only was the error authentic, it was unlike anything cataloged before. The news quietly spread among high-level collectors, setting off a frenzy behind closed doors. A shadowy bidding war erupted, with private auction houses receiving anonymous offers that pushed the projected value higher and higher until experts finally settled on an estimate that left the numismatic world breathless: $300 million. And then came the second specimen, found by a school janitor in a loose change tray. And then a third, discovered by a bank teller who noticed the portrait looked puffy. Between all three, the pattern became unmistakable: the ghost rim, the layered portrait, the shadowed flame, and the trace contamination. 3 coins. That's it. 3 out of hundreds of millions struck. That makes the 2015 D Ghost Rim Split Core Error Dime one of the rarest modern coins ever discovered. Rarer than the 1916 map-proof cent. Rarer than almost every early gold issue. Rarer than many legendary minting mistakes collectors dream of. What makes this coin even more emotionally powerful is the idea that right now, someone may have one sitting in a jar, a drawer, a pocket, or a forgotten envelope, completely unaware that they possess a treasure worth hundreds of millions. That possibility has created a wave of excitement unlike anything modern coin collecting has seen. People are checking rims with flashlights. People are weighing dimes to the 4th decimal. People are scanning edges for the strange pale halo that marks the ghost rim anomaly. And why? Because modern treasures like this don't come once in a generation, they come once in history. And this coin, the 2015 D1 dime, is the finale, the masterpiece, the crown jewel of minting mysteries. It closes our journey with one unforgettable truth. Even the smallest coin, the one we dismiss, the one we overlook, can hide a secret powerful enough to rewrite someone's entire life.